It's that time of year again. We are planting seeds. Spring is happening and I'm going through and deciding what seeds I want to start. I always miss the spring harvest because we just have a smaller growing season here in the mountains. But something that I've learned that really helps my seeds germinate is this little greenhouse plastic bag effect. So you put a paper towel inside of a plastic bag and then you put your seeds in there. Now, normally I separate them all out, do little individual baggies with paper towel, and they germinate in there and I know what all of them are. This year I'm doing some lazy gardening because I'm not going to be home that much, if at all. So I'm just going to throw my seeds in and see what happens. I like to do what I call lazy gardening, which is just sort of a numbers game and you get what you get. And I like to diversify in my garden anyways and not have everything all together. I think it gives them more of a chance to thrive and survive. Okay, so I'm going to put this straw in and seal it up. And then I'm going to put it in a warm, dark place. I'm going to put mine above the oven. And then I'm going to take these egg cartons and poke little holes. I'm using a nail. I'm just going to poke little holes in the bottom. Egg cartons are awesome for starting seeds. You're going to see why at the end. But it lets it breathe. It also keeps moisture. And spoiler alert, we're going to plant it right out of there. Okay, so you can use potting soil that you purchase, or I'm going to make my own. So I've got some nice soil from the garden, and then I'm going to throw in some compost, more compost. If you have vermiculite or perlite or peat moss or buy compost, or you want to put some amendments in there, just some things for your seedlings to eat once they sprout. And I'm going to do some moss from my yard because I don't have peat moss. So I'm just going to rip up some moss from my yard, which is really great for your homemade potting soil. And then I'm just going to mix that up and make sure it's nicely mixed. I also added some wood chips because I really wanted a lot of aeration, and I took out the big sticks so that all those tiny seeds, all those roots would have a good chance of surviving. And lots of air in there. I like wood chips also because they soak up water, so at the same time that they're providing air, they're also providing water. And we're just going to mix all that up. And then we're going to fill up those egg cartons with our potting soil. And we're just going to make sure that we fill it all the way up. And then we're going to take our bag of germinated seeds. Look at all those beautiful roots going on. And we're just going to plant them in our soil. I found it easier to take all the seeds out onto a plate first. They were a little bit hard to get out. We're going to make sure that the soil is properly damp. We're going to give it a good spritz or a nice little water. Nice and heavy. You don't want any of this soil being dry at all. And then we're just going to start putting the seeds. You want them tail side down. The tail is the root, so you want that to be down. On these, you can even tell where the little cotyledon is, the first little seed leaf. And I'm just going to make a little hole with my fingers and plop it right in there. You can do 1 or 2 per space. It's up to you. but it's a numbers game. So I like to do quite a few seeds because not all of them are going to survive. Sometimes it's even helpful to take a little chopstick, and that way you can very gently get it into your fingers and then use the chopstick to make a little hole and just pop it in there as gently as possible. And then I'm going to spritz it down again. Really make sure that you get it nice and damp. You don't want these seeds or roots to be dry at all. And then we're going to put some saran wrap over it and make a little greenhouse effect. And then we're going to put it outside and spritz it every morning when it's nice and sunny. When it's cool, we're going to take them inside and protect them at night or whatever, depending on the weather. They may have to be inside. And then in no time at all, you'll have little seedlings popping up, and you can take the plastic off. And then to plant it, you're just going to pull apart one of the egg cartons. You can even see beautiful roots coming out the bottom there. You'll be able to just plant that whole thing. So I'm just going to take it to my garden. You can put it in a bigger pot. It would be better to put it in a bigger pot, and then you ensure that it will survive. But I'm just going to throw it in my garden, and we'll see what happens. Thanks so much for watching.